The 1998 D Mint Mark half dollar is one of those fascinating coins that stands out in modern numismatics, not only for its design, but also for its rarity and rising market value. Minted at the Denver Mint, this coin belongs to the Kennedy half dollar series, which has been in circulation since 1964. The D Mint Mark, located just below Kennedy's bust on the obverse side, indicates its origin. At first glance, many collectors might dismiss the 1998 D half dollar as a common circulation coin, but the truth is that certain conditions, errors, and grades make it highly valuable in today's market. Currently, this coin can fetch as much as $1 to $300, depending on its grade, strike, and preservation quality, which is a significant leap from its face value of just 50 cents. This remarkable jump in value demonstrates the power of rarity, demand, and collector enthusiasm within the coin market. The obverse of the 1998 D half dollar features the iconic portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. It is a powerful reminder of Kennedy's legacy and his lasting influence on American history and politics. This design has been used for decades, but each year's minting carries its own quirks, minting quality, and potential for rarity. On the reverse side, designed by Frank Gasparo, the coin showcases the presidential seal, a heraldic eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, symbolizing America's commitment to peace and strength. These details may seem routine to the casual eye, but for collectors, every minor difference, every sharp strike, and even small minting errors can transform an ordinary coin into a valuable, numismatic treasure. One of the main reasons the 1998 D Mint Mark half dollar is so desirable today is the role that condition plays in determining its value. Coins that are in uncirculated or mint state, MS condition, especially those graded MS 65 or higher by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, tend to command the highest prices at auctions. In fact, examples of this coin in superb gem condition can sell for over $1,000, with the best preserved pieces reaching that $300 mark. On the other hand, circulated examples generally hold modest premiums, but even these are sought after when they display sharp detail and minimal wear. Collectors are especially drawn to specimens with strong luster, crisp strikes, and minimal blemishes. Adding to its appeal, the 1998 D half dollar sometimes comes with minting varieties and errors, which can significantly increase its worth. Error coins such as off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or coins struck on the wrong planchet are highly prized. Even minor doubling on Kennedy's portrait or the lettering can send the value of this coin skyrocketing among serious collectors. While not all 1998 D half dollars exhibit these rare minting anomalies, those that do represent golden opportunities for collectors who are lucky enough to find them. Beyond its design and potential errors, the historical and cultural context of the 1998 D half dollar also contributes to its allure. By 1998, the Kennedy half dollar was no longer widely used in everyday transactions, with production numbers declining compared to earlier decades. This reduced circulation has made high-quality examples even harder to come by as fewer coins entered everyday commerce. Many of the coins produced ended up in collector rolls or sets, which means pristine examples are preserved but also tightly held by collectors, limiting availability on the open market. This scarcity directly influences market demand, further boosting values. The coin's enduring popularity is also tied to the broader fascination with John F. Kennedy and the American story of the 20th century. Collectors often gravitate toward Kennedy half dollars because they represent more than just money. They symbolize an era, a national tragedy, and the enduring memory of a beloved president. Owning a rare Kennedy half dollar is akin to owning a piece of American history. For this reason, even modern issues like the 1998 D continue to draw strong interest from collectors both in the United States and internationally. The market value of what a $300 for the 1998 D half dollar isn't arbitrary. It reflects current auction results, collector demand, and the grading process. Auction houses and online marketplaces have shown steady interest in high-grade examples, and demand has only increased as more collectors enter the numismatic field in search of investment-worthy coins. With inflation, rising interest in tangible assets, and the growing popularity of coin collecting, coins like the 1998 D mint mark $50 have become valuable investments in addition to collectible treasures. For new collectors, finding a 1998 D $50 might seem simple since millions were produced. But locating one in gem mint condition is a challenge that can take years. That's why professional grading plays such a huge role. Grading services provide assurance to buyers and sellers alike, certifying authenticity and condition, which in turn supports strong market prices. Without grading, the value of a coin might be subjective. But with certification, buyers know exactly what they are getting, making the $1,300 price tag a justified reflection of quality and rarity. To sum it up, the 1998 D mint mark $50 may look like just another modern Kennedy $50, but its true value lies in its rarity, preservation, and collector demand. With a market value today reaching $1,300, this coin has proven itself as more than just 50 cents. It's a sought-after piece of numismatic history. Whether you are a seasoned collector chasing high-grade examples, a new hobbyist hoping to find one in change, or an investor seeking coins with growth potential, the 1998 D $50 is a worthy addition to any collection. Its strong historical ties, iconic design, and steadily rising market price ensure that it will continue to shine as a valuable treasure for years to come. Next up, the 1997 D mint mark $50, part of the Kennedy $50 series, stands out as a fascinating and surprisingly valuable coin for collectors in today's numismatic market, with certain examples reaching an impressive market value of $2,500 depending on condition, rarity, and grading certification. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D mint mark, and it belongs to a series that began in 1964 to commemorate the life and legacy of President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination. By 1997, the Kennedy $50 had already undergone several decades of production, but circulation demand had dwindled significantly since the late 1970s, meaning that fewer of these coins were widely used by the public. The 1997 D Kennedy $50 was minted primarily for collectors and as part of U.S. mint sets, so while many were produced, high-grade, well-preserved examples are much scarcer than one might think. This scarcity in pristine condition is a major factor behind why certain examples can command up to $1,500 in today's auctions and collector sales, especially when graded MS-67 or higher by professional grading services such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. Looking more closely at the design, the obverse of the 1997 D Kennedy $50 features the familiar portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts, which has been a defining feature of the series since its inception. The sharp details in Kennedy's hair, facial features, and the boldness of the Liberty lettering across the top of the coin are all critical when evaluating condition and value. On the reverse side, designed by Frank Gasparo, the coin bears the heraldic eagle adapted from the Great Seal of the United States, clutching an olive branch and arrows in its talons, with the shield across its chest symbolizing strength and protection. The fine details in the eagle's feathers, the clarity of the stars surrounding it, and the sharpness of the inscriptions such as United, States of America, and $50 also play an essential role in determining whether a coin might achieve a top-tier grade and reach its full 1,500 market potential. Collectors often seek out coins that display strong luster, well-struck details, and minimal contact marks, which can elevate even a common year issue into the category of a rare and highly desirable piece. When considering the 1997 D Kennedy $50's journey to becoming worth $1,500, rarity and demand both play critical roles. While the mintage of this coin was relatively high compared to earlier key dates in the series, most coins were either circulated lightly, stored in mint sets, or mishandled over time, leaving fewer in flawless gem-quality condition. Today's collectors are keenly aware that modern coins with top grades can be exceedingly difficult to find, despite seemingly high original mintages. For instance, while millions of 1997 D half dollars were struck. Only a small percentage qualify for the highest levels of certification, such as MS-67, MS-68, or beyond, and it is these coins that bring auction prices soaring into the thousands. This explains why some examples that might look common to the untrained eye can, under professional scrutiny, reveal themselves to be hidden treasures worth $1,500 or more in the right market. Historical significance also adds a layer of desirability to the 1997 D. Kennedy half dollar. By the late 1990s, the Kennedy half dollar had already become more of a collector's coin than a circulating coin, and it holds an enduring place in American numismatic history as a lasting tribute to the beloved president. For many collectors, owning a Kennedy half dollar isn't just about the medal or the strike. It's about holding a piece of cultural memory, a reminder of a pivotal time in American history. The Denver Mint's production of the 1997 half dollar is part of this broader narrative, contributing to the continuation of one of America's most iconic coin series. Collectors who chase high-value modern coins are often driven not only by rarity and grading, but also by this blend of nostalgia, history, and symbolism, making the wonder $500 value for certain specimens even more understandable when viewed in this light. Another factor contributing to the $2,500 valuation is the role of third-party grading companies. A raw 1997 D. Kennedy half dollar, meaning one that has not been graded or encapsulated, may not fetch anywhere near the same amount because buyers cannot be certain of its exact grade and condition. However, when submitted to professional services like PCGS or NGC, coins that receive top grades such as MS-67 or MS-68 are officially recognized for their quality, giving buyers confidence and driving up competition and prices at auction. Population reports from these grading companies often show how few coins exist at certain high-grade levels, which directly influences their value. For example, if only a handful of 1997 D half dollars are certified at MS-68, collectors will fiercely compete for ownership, pushing prices toward or beyond the $2,500 mark. This is why collectors who suspect they own a high-quality example are often encouraged to invest in professional grading, as the payoff can be substantial. The market dynamics for modern half dollars like the 1997 D also reveal an interesting trend in numismatics. While older coins from the 19th or early 20th century are typically associated with high values, modern coins in superb condition are increasingly being recognized as modern rarities. This has led to a surge of interest in coins from the 1980s and 1990s that were once considered too recent to be valuable. The 1997 D. Kennedy half dollar exemplifies this shift, proving that collectors with an eye for quality and rarity can uncover surprising treasures even in what might appear to be common coinage. These modern rarities highlight how numismatic value is not determined solely by age, but rather by a combination of rarity, condition, demand, and historical context. The rise in value of coins like this one demonstrates the evolving tastes of collectors and the ever-changing nature of the coin market. Auction results provide some of the clearest evidence of the 1997 D. Kennedy half dollar's value. Over the past several years, examples graded at the highest levels have fetched prices approaching or exceeding the $2,500 mark, depending on the competitiveness of bidding and the exact quality of the coin. These results reinforce the notion that while not every 1997 D half dollar is worth a fortune, those select few in pristine condition are indeed rare and valuable assets for collectors. It's not uncommon for coin enthusiasts to recount stories of finding such coins in forgotten mint sets or old collections, only to realize later that they possess a hidden gem capable of transforming their collection's overall value. Ultimately, the 1997 D mint mark half dollar is a reminder that even coins minted in relatively modern times can achieve extraordinary value under the right circumstances. With a market value of $1,500 for top-quality examples, this coin embodies the intersection of artistry, history, rarity, and collector demand. It challenges the assumption that only ancient or centuries-old coins can be worth thousands, instead proving that coins from the late 20th century still hold untapped potential. For collectors, the thrill lies in the hunt, discovering that among the many Kennedy half-dollars struck, a small number possess the qualities that elevate them to the status of modern numismatic treasures. Whether viewed as a financial investment, a historical artifact, or a symbol of America's enduring respect for President Kennedy, the 1997 D half-dollar continues to capture the imagination of coin enthusiasts worldwide, reminding us that hidden value can reside in even the most unexpected places, waiting for the right collector to uncover it. Next up, the 1892 no mint mark half-dollar, also known as the Barber half-dollar, represents one of the most historically significant coins in American numismatics, and today, certain examples can reach an impressive market value of $1,600 depending on their condition, rarity, and professional grading. This coin was the very first year of issue for the Barber half-dollar series, which replaced the earlier seated Liberty design that had been in circulation for over 50 years. Designed by chief engraver Charles E. Barber, the coin features a classical and elegant portrait of Liberty on the obverse. Facing right, wearing a Phrygian cap and a laurel wreath, surrounded by the word Liberty on the headband. Around her head are the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," at the top, with 13 stars symbolizing the original colonies and the date 1892 at the bottom. On the reverse, the coin displays a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, clutching an olive branch and arrows in its talons, a shield on its chest, and a banner in its beak reading, E pluribus unum. Surrounding the eagle are the inscriptions, United States of America and half-dollar, completing the design that was meant to be bold, patriotic, and easy to strike. The no mint mark designation means that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and while the total mintage for the 1892 half-dollar was relatively high compared to later issues, coins surviving in pristine, uncirculated condition are considerably rare, which is why top-graded examples can fetch $600 or even more at auction today. 1. Of the main factors driving the $2,600, market value of the 1892 no mint mark half-dollar is its historical importance as the first year of the Barber half-dollar series. Collectors have always placed a premium on first-year issues, since they represent the beginning of a new era in coinage and often carry greater historical significance than later dates. In the case of the Barber half-dollar, the 1892 issue marked the start of a design that would last until 1915, spanning more than 2 decades and serving as an essential part of American commerce during a period of rapid industrial growth and social change. The coin's age alone, well over 130 years old, makes it desirable. But it is the combination of its vintage, its status as a first-year issue, and its relatively low survival rate in top condition that elevates its value into the thousands. When an 1892 half-dollar is found in pristine, uncirculated condition with sharp details, full luster, and minimal wear, it can easily command $2,600 or more in the open market. Another key aspect that enhances the value of the 1892 no mint mark half-dollar is its place within the broader Barber coinage series, which includes the dime, quarter, and half-dollar, all designed by Charles E. Barber. Among these, the half-dollar holds special appeal because of its size, which allows the design to be fully appreciated, and its historical role as a commonly used denomination in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 930,000 examples of the 1892 half-dollar without a mint mark, but only a small fraction survive today in collectible condition. Most were heavily circulated during the 1890s and early 1900s, worn down through everyday commerce, leaving relatively few survivors that retain the sharp details collectors seek. This scarcity in high grades is what drives the demand and pushes values upward. For instance, while a heavily circulated 1892 half-dollar may be worth far less, a coin certified in mint state, MS-63 or higher, by grading services such as PCGS or NGC can easily climb toward the $1,600 range. And coins in superb gem condition are even rarer and more valuable. The role of professional grading cannot be overstated when discussing the value of the 1892 no mint mark half-dollar. Coins that are graded and encapsulated by trusted third-party services provide collectors with assurance of authenticity, condition, and overall quality. A raw, ungraded 1892 half dollar may only bring a few $100s depending on its appearance, but once professionally certified at a high grade, its value can skyrocket. Collectors specifically look for coins with sharp strike details, original mint luster, and attractive toning, as these qualities not only make the coin visually appealing, but also confirm its preservation over more than a century. Population reports from grading services reveal that relatively few 1892 Philadelphia half dollars exist in high mint state grades, which means that competition for those coins is fierce whenever they appear at auction, helping them achieve strong prices that regularly exceed $1,600. From a historical perspective, the 1892 no mint mark half dollar also captures the spirit of its era. The late 19th century was a transformative period for the United States, marked by rapid industrialization, technological advancements, and major social changes. Coinage of this time reflects a blend of classical artistic styles and patriotic symbolism, serving both as a tool of commerce and as a cultural artifact. The barber design, while not as elaborate as some earlier issues, was seen as bold and modern for its day, and it became a familiar sight in everyday transactions for millions of Americans. For collectors today, holding an 1892 half dollar is not just about owning silver or adding a rare date to a collection. It is about holding a tangible connection to the 1890s, a coin that circulated through the hands of people living in a vastly different America. This historical resonance, combined with scarcity and high grades, is one of the main reasons collectors are willing to pay $1,600 for exceptional examples. Auction records further support the strong valuation of the 1892 no mint mark half dollar. Over the years, sales of certified high-grade specimens have consistently shown strong demand, with prices regularly climbing into the thousands. These results demonstrate that the market recognizes the coin's rarity and historical significance, and that collectors are eager to pay premiums for quality. Stories abound of collectors discovering 1892 half dollars in old family estates, inherited coin boxes, or overlooked collections, only to realize that what they possess is worth far more than they imagined. This element of discovery adds to the allure of the coin, as many people are drawn to the idea of finding a valuable piece of history hidden in plain sight. Another important factor that adds to the $600 value of the 1892 no mint mark half dollar is the coin's intrinsic silver content. Each barber half dollar is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, with a total silver weight of approximately 0.3617 troy ounces. While the silver content alone does not account for the high market value, the metal is worth only a fraction of the coin's collector price. It provides a baseline intrinsic value that reinforces the coin's worth. The combination of silver bullion value, numismatic rarity, historical importance, and collector demand is what ultimately drives the $1,600 valuation for the finest examples. For modern collectors, the 1892 no mint mark half dollar represents both a challenge and an opportunity. The challenge lies in finding examples that are well preserved, since most coins have seen extensive circulation. The opportunity lies in the potential to acquire a first-year issue from one of America's classic coin series, a coin that not only has intrinsic silver value, but also significant collector appeal. For those who manage to secure a high-grade example, the payoff can be substantial, as the coin continues to hold its place as a sought-after collectible with a strong market presence. In conclusion, the 1892 no mint mark barber half dollar is far more than just another piece of old U.S. currency. It is a numismatic treasure with a story to tell. As the inaugural year of the Barber half dollar series, it holds special historical significance, while its age, rarity, and high grades, and enduring popularity among collectors make it a valuable asset in today's coin market. With top-quality examples fetching around $1,600, the coin exemplifies how artistry, history, scarcity, and collector demand all combine to determine value. For collectors and investors alike, the 1892 half dollar is a piece worth pursuing, offering not only financial value but also a direct connection to America's rich past, making it one of the standout coins of the late 19th century and a true prize for anyone fortunate enough to own it. Next up, The 1974 D Mint Mark half dollar is a fascinating and highly collectible coin within the Kennedy half dollar series, one that has grown in significance over time due to its historical background, scarcity in top condition, and strong demand among collectors with certain rare, high-quality examples reaching a market value as high as $1,900. Minted at the Denver Mint, indicated by the D Mint mark placed just below Kennedy's portrait, this coin is part of a series that began in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy following his tragic assassination, a series that has become one of the most collected in U.S. numismatics. By 1974, the Kennedy half dollar had already transitioned away from its original 90% silver composition, which had been reduced to a 40% silver clad between 1965 and 1970, and by this year was composed of copper-nickel clad over a pure copper core. Despite the lack of precious metal content, the 1974 D. Kennedy half dollar holds considerable collectible and historical value, especially when preserved in pristine mint state grades or when struck with unusual die errors that add to its rarity. The obverse of the coin features the enduring design by Gilroy Roberts, a dignified left-facing portrait of President Kennedy, with liberty inscribed across the top, the motto, "In God We Trust," placed at the sides of the portrait, and the date 1974 at the bottom. On the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, the coin proudly displays the presidential seal, a heraldic eagle clutching arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other, with a shield across its chest, surrounded by a field of 50 stars and the inscriptions, "United States of America" and "half dollar." While millions of 1974 D. Kennedy half dollars were minted, well over 79 million in fact, the number of coins surviving today in gem mint state with sharp strikes, minimal contact marks, and vibrant luster is surprisingly small. And it is these exceptional coins that drive the market upward to 900 or beyond at auctions and private sales. The $1,900 valuation of the 1974 D half dollar can be traced to several important factors, including grading, rarity in top condition, and collector demand. While circulated examples of this coin are worth only face value or slightly more, the story changes dramatically when you examine coins graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC. At lower grades, the coin may not bring significant premiums, but once it reaches the upper echelons of mint state, particularly MS-66 or MS-67, the value skyrockets due to scarcity. Coins in such grades are rare because the large mintages of the mid-1970s often came with issues of weak strikes, bag marks from mass production, and loss of luster over decades of handling or poor storage. This means that while many 1974 D half dollars exist, only a tiny fraction have the eye appeal and technical quality required to achieve top grades. And these are exactly the pieces that collectors compete for, driving the price toward the $1,900 range. The role of population reports published by grading companies cannot be underestimated here. When the number of certified coins at MS-67 is extremely low, demand naturally outpaces supply, and serious collectors are willing to pay premiums for the chance to own such an elusive modern rarity. The historical context of the 1974 D. Kennedy half dollar further enhances its appeal. The year 1974 came at a turning point in American history. The country was still in the midst of the Vietnam War era. President Richard Nixon was embroiled in the Watergate scandal that would soon lead to his resignation, and the nation was grappling with inflation, social change, and shifting political landscapes. The Kennedy half dollar, although introduced a decade earlier, still carried the powerful symbolism of the slain president, and it remained a patriotic coin that many Americans saved as a keepsake rather than spending in circulation. This tendency to hoard Kennedy halves means that many were preserved, but unfortunately few were preserved under ideal numismatic conditions, leading to the scarcity of top-quality examples today. This historical backdrop, combined with the enduring popularity of the Kennedy series, makes the 1974 D half dollar an attractive target for collectors who want a piece of American history as well as a coin with strong investment potential. In addition to high-grade regular strikes, The 1974 D. Kennedy half-dollar is also known for its role in the discovery of an extremely rare variety, the 1974 D. double die obverse. While not every 1974 D half-dollar is a double die, the variety is famous in numismatics and has driven additional attention to this year's issue. In double die examples, noticeable doubling can be seen on the inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or even the date, making them visually distinct and highly collectible. Although the regular 1974 D half-dollar can be worth $1,900 at the highest grades, the double die variety can fetch even more, depending on condition and visibility of the error. This association with a famous variety adds another layer of interest and demand to the Denver Mint's 1974 issue, making it a year that collectors pay close attention to. Auction results illustrate just how valuable the 1974 D. Kennedy half-dollar can be when quality and rarity align. In several notable sales, superb gem examples graded MS-67 by PCGS or NGC have sold for prices ranging from the high hundreds into the thousands, with some pushing the $1,900 mark when buyer competition was especially strong. These results are not simply anomalies, but rather reflections of an active collector base that recognizes the difficulty of obtaining pristine examples of a coin from a high mintage modern era. The $1,900 price tag is not for just any 1974 D half-dollar. It is reserved for coins that meet the highest standards of preservation, eye appeal, and grading rarity. For collectors fortunate enough to own one of these pieces, the coin is not only a valuable asset, but also a conversation piece and a crown jewel within a Kennedy half-dollar collection. The intrinsic composition of the 1974 D. Kennedy half-dollar also plays a subtle role in its collectible status. While earlier issues from 1964 carried 90% silver and those from 1965-1970 contained 40% silver, by 1974 the series had fully transitioned to copper-nickel clad, with no silver content at all for general circulation strikes. This means that the coin's value is driven almost entirely by numismatic interest rather than metal content, which underscores the strength of collector demand. In fact, the high value of $1,900 achieved by certain examples proves that a coin's desirability in the marketplace does not always depend on precious metal, but rather on factors such as rarity, condition, historical significance, and collector passion. For many collectors, the Kennedy series offers an accessible entry point into coin collecting, but the discovery of rare, high-grade modern coins like the 1974 D half-dollar demonstrates just how rewarding the series can be for serious numismatists. For modern collectors, the 1974 D Kennedy half-dollar serves as both an opportunity and a challenge. The opportunity lies in the possibility of finding a coin in exceptionally high grade, whether in old mint sets, original rolls, or overlooked collections. The challenge lies in the rarity of such finds, as decades of storage often leave coins with tarnish, contact marks, or diminished luster. Nevertheless, the hunt for these modern rarities is part of what makes numismatics exciting, and the knowledge that such a coin could be worth $1,900 motivates collectors to carefully examine their holdings and perhaps even submit coins for professional grading. Stories of collectors who discovered valuable 1974 D half-dollars hidden in mint sets or old coin jars serve as inspiration for others, proving that hidden treasures can still be found in unexpected places. Ultimately, the 1974 D Mint Mark Kennedy half-dollar is a perfect example of how a seemingly ordinary modern coin can become a numismatic treasure under the right conditions. Its strong market value of $1,900 for top-grade specimens is the result of a combination of rarity, condition, historical symbolism, and collector enthusiasm. While millions of these coins were minted, only a handful survive in the pristine states required to achieve such values, making them highly desirable and fiercely competed for in today's market. As both a tribute to one of America's most beloved presidents and a piece of coinage history from a turbulent decade, the 1974 D half-dollar continues to hold a special place in the world of numismatics. Whether cherished as an investment, admired as a symbol of history, or pursued as a modern rarity, This coin demonstrates that true value in coin collecting comes not just from age or metal, but from the unique combination of factors that make each piece a story in silver, copper, and nickel.